you in here too.
Okay, here we go. Walk around the car show here. You see a Camaro there on your left, and a Buick Skylark, and a Ford Mustang. That's the red car there. And a Chevy truck, a C10 pickup truck from Chevrolet. And then coming up on the left is a Chevy Chevelle and a Impala Super Sport. Looks like maybe a 66. And then this car on the left here is a Ford Skyliner. They actually had retractable hardtops. So instead of a soft convertible top, they had a hardtop that would retract into the trunk. They made those in the late 50s. They were very complicated mechanisms, and they didn't make them very long. So here's another Chevy on the left, full-size Chevy. Another Chevrolet, looks like a 58 Chevy there. And another Chevy pickup, a C10 as well. Sorry, that's GMC. It's a GMC pickup, which is, a lot like the Chevy, but made by GMC. They just put a different badge on it, really. They're both made by General Motors. And then, okay, then there's a Camaro on the left and a Chevelle. And then a 57 Chevy's coming up there on the left. See the torpedoes on the hood there. And then there's little rubber bumpers on the left and right bottom there. Those are characteristic of the 57 Chevy. And here's a nice Oldsmobile. And there's a Ford Ranchero, which is a small pickup truck that Ford made that was based on a car. And this is a 1936 Ford here, thrown in with all these more recent cars. And it looks like an Oldsmobile there, and a Dodge Power Wagon. The Dodge Power Wagon was used in World War II, and then they made a civilian version, kind of like the Jeep. Did the same thing. It was used in World War II, and then they made a civilian version. But it's a nice looking truck, isn't it? And in good shape. From the late 40s there, I think. All right, and here's an Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra from like the 80s. Not exactly a classic, but a Ford Galaxy on the left there, and a Jeep, probably from the 70s. It's been restored. They made Jeeps that looked like that for quite a long time. They had that same body style from the original CJ5. And then CJ7 on. So here's another Camaro on the left here, and a Buick Riviera. Let's see, that's probably a 1964 Buick Riviera. And here's a Chevy. It's likely a 1956. They have a screen in front of the front end, but it looks more like a 56 to me. And a Chevy Viking truck. It's a 60 series, which means it's probably a 2-ton truck. They have a platform built on the back there. And it looks like it's made for parades or something, people to sit on the back. but originally it was for hauling stuff and kind of heavy-duty 2-ton truck. There's another Chevy pickup truck and an AMC Javelin. That was also, and here's a 55 Chevy. It's been customized. You can see it's got custom wheels on it, but the body looks like it's mostly stock. Very nice looking 1955 Chevy. The 55s are one of my favorites. I like those a lot. So, and here's another 57 Chevy and a Monte Carlo, and then another 57 Chevy. Once again, you see those torpedoes on the hood there. And a early 60s Chevy, and then a Ford pickup. This is a Ford pickup from the 1906, and this is a 56 Chevy on the left, and a Mercury Cougar. And here's a Camaro and a Ford truck, more modern Ford truck. And over here's a Chevy truck, and on the right is a Dodge Polara from the 60s. Big, very big Dodges and Chryslers back then, so that's called the Dodge Polara. And here is a Ford hot rod, Model A type hot rod. You can see the flames on the side of that one. And the motor here, they put a V8 in there, obviously, more modern V8. Back end of it, and the other side, more flames, and you can see the motor there again. Nice pretty hot rod. And there's a Chevy truck on the right, and another Chevy truck coming up. GMC, sorry, you get the GMCs and the Chevys confused because they do look an awful lot alike except for the badging. So here comes another GMC. As you can see from the front end there, it says GMC right on it. And a Chevy truck from the mid-60s there. Ooh, there comes a hot rod. Let's watch him go by here. He has to wait for the people to get out of the way. There he goes. Now he's off. Now we're going to speed up. Whoa, hang on. There goes, oh, there goes a Pontiac. Ooh, we'll slow down for this 1955 Chevy. You know I like those. It's a nice looking 55 Chevy there. I like the colors on that one. Oop, here we go fast again. There's a 59 Chevy wagon. That's nice. A Ford truck, Pontiac, a Chevy, a Buick, a Pontiac. We're going fast now. Oops, there comes a hot rod. Let's slow down a little bit for him. Whoa, okay, slow down. Here he goes. He's driving away. That's a pretty one, isn't it? Oops. Okay, now we're going fast again. Oops, there's a Ford. There's a Lincoln. This is a mid-60s Chevy truck there, and an older Chevy truck, and a Ford truck. Now we're going fast. Okay, there's a pickup truck, Ford pickup. There's a Dodge pickup. There it goes. There's a Camaro and a Fox Body Mustang, and then we're going off to the left here, and there's another Camaro and a panel truck, a Ford panel truck. Looks like it's from the Coast Guard. Huh? This is a Canadian car here, a Monarch. You don't see many of those. Oops, there's a Dodge pickup and a Chevy and a Ford pickup. And we're racing through here now, and there's a Pontiac, another Pontiac, and a Chevy, and an Oldsmobile. Whoops, now we're on a Dodge truck here. Here we go. That's a Dodge pickup. Looks like it's not been restored. It's original, huh? And here's a Ford pickup. That's a pretty color, isn't it? Going around the Ford pickup here. Yeah, there we go. And here's the back end of the Ford. And then there's another Ford pickup. Now I'm kind of waiting for these guys because they look like they're going to pull out. And then I came over here and I waited for them to pull out some more. And now they're finally, I think, pretty soon going to pull out there. They're kind of taking their time. So I was almost going to walk, and then they pulled out. There they go. They're racing away. Okay. There on the left is a Camaro and a Ford and a Dodge and a Chevy and another Mustang and a 59 Chevy. And oops, now we're on a Mack truck. I think you remember this one maybe from the Baraboo Truck Show. This truck was there. It's a really nice old truck, and they brought it up there to the Iola car show as well. So take a good look at this one. See the back end, what that looks like. A nice Mack truck. Okay, now we're going fast again. And here's a Mustang and a Ford pickup. There's a Ford pickup. Yeah, pickup truck. And that is an Oldsmobile, I guess, that's been hot rodded. And there's another hot rod. And here's a Ford truck. There we go, Ford pickup. And another Ford pickup. Yeah, it's a white one. And then this is a Volkswagen that looks like it came from Germany because it's still got German on the side of it. The Volkswagen truck. And a Pontiac and a Corvette and a Ford Torino and a Galaxy and a Ford pickup truck. Whoa, look at that. And here we go, and here's another Ford pickup truck. There it is. Yeah. And there we go. We're going past a Pontiac and a Mustang. And this is an international pickup. You don't see as many of those. The International Harvester made those. Here's Ford pickup. There we go. There's a Ford pickup again, and then it shows a little bit about how they put it together and built it. Yep. And there's a Dodge and a Packard. That's a Packard. That's a pretty one, isn't it? And then there's a Chevy pickup truck. Yeah. These are going fast. And we'll go over here, and this looks like maybe another Packard. Yep, that's an older Packard. And then there's a Chevy and a Ford and another Chevy pickup. I don't know, that's a Suburban, Chevy Suburban. Okay, there we go. Over here to a hot rod Chevy, and then a Chevy, and then a 55 Chevy again. We'll stop for that one because that's a nice 55. And then a 62 Chevy, and then over here is a Chevy pickup again. And then down here, there's a hot rod on the right, and we're going to turn right here, and here's a mid-60s Chevy truck. So I tend to focus on those because my first vehicle was a 65 Chevy truck. It wasn't a classic back then, it was just an old pickup truck. But that was my first vehicle ever. Okay, so there's a hot rod. Oh no, that's just a final plate on Ford, and then there's a Chevy and it looked like maybe a Packard there. I went too fast. And then here's a Ford pickup. There it is. A Ford pickup and a Chevy pickup truck going around that way. And another Ford pickup truck. So, yeah. I know someone who likes pickup trucks, so that's why I focused a lot on pickup trucks here. And there's what looks like a Ford sedan and another Ford, and then maybe an Oldsmobile there, and then there's a Camaro, and wow, we're going fast now. Another Camaro. Whoa, almost hit that guy. And there's a 55 Chevy again. That one's a little bit more interesting color scheme. Not sure if I like that one or not, but then here we go. There's a hot rod on the left there, and here's a Ford. It looks like Bronco, Ford Bronco. And then a Javelin, AMC Javelin. Here's a nice Chevy truck. This is a beautiful truck. Look at that. They really nicely restored that one. Very pretty. And here's the 6-cylinder motor in it. And then here's another Chevy truck. There it goes. There's the back end of that one. That's a pretty truck too, huh? And here we go. We're off to there's a Volkswagen and a Chevy truck, and here's another mid-60s Chevy truck. Going around that one. Go back and see the other side, and there's a Mustang, another Mustang, another Mustang. Oof, we're going fast. And here we go on this side, and here's another Ford truck, Ford pickup that's been restored. Yeah, that's a good one. And there's another Ford pickup. A lot of Ford pickups here, and a lot of Chevy pickups too. There it is, a Chevy truck, a Ford truck, I mean. And here's a Chevy van. Yep. That's a little bit like the Chevy van that we used to have. And then over here is an old Chevy truck. And this little thing is called a Vanderhall. They were advertising those there, and these people were test driving it, I guess. A little three-wheeled thing called the Vanderhall. I hadn't seen those before, but several people were looking at those. And here's the old Chevy truck. Here we go, around the Chevy truck. And here's a Ford pickup. Go around that one there. Yeah, there it is, Ford pickup. And off we go this way. Oh, there's that Chevy truck again. Ooh, now we got a semi. Look at that. It's a big truck. We kind of slowed down a little here, which is good. Here's a Chevy pickup truck that's all customized, and here's a Ford pickup truck over here. And we're going to go around that one a little bit. Ooh, look at that. A Jurassic Park Jeep, and look at that dinosaur in there hanging out the door. Yep. That's pretty cool. That's based on the Jurassic Park movie, obviously. Very cool. There goes an old Plymouth around there. He's got quite a big motor in that thing. You can hear it. And here's a nice old Chevy truck that's here. Yeah. And here's an old Ford truck. It looks like a 1928 Ford truck. It's got the little cloth things on the sides. That's pretty neat, isn't it? There's the fire engine. Oops. And there's a Jeep. A civil defense Jeep. That's got to be from the 50s. And that's what the inside of a Jeep looks like. That's how you drive the Jeep. See the big steering wheel there? Yep. And there's a Chevy truck. Nice looking Chevy truck, huh? It's really shiny. And it's been hot rodded. It's got a shiny front end. Look at that. Wow. And here's another hot rod. It's a panel truck. So somebody took this panel truck and made it into a hot rod. Looks nice though, doesn't it? Yeah. Kind of a pretty paint job on there. Yeah, look at that. That's the inside. That's what it looks like on the inside. They did a good job of fixing that one up, didn't they? Yeah, it looks pretty. Oop, look at this. A hot rod fire engine. Wow. Got a great big Ford motor in the front of it. And look at the ladder on the side and the fire extinguisher. Great big wheels in the back. Look at that. That's going to be a fast fire engine, isn't it? It's going to go really fast. And they even have the little Dalmatian puppy up there. So look at that. Cool fire engine. Ooh, there's a Packard limousine. That was used to drive rich people around back in the day. You see how much room you have in the back? Oops, there's a nice old truck. 1929, it looks like. Yeah, oops, there's a guy sleeping there next to it. This is an amphicar. It's an actual car that you can drive in the water too, like a boat. So it floats, and you just drive it right in the water, and you can drive it around, and then you can drive it out and drive it on the road too. There was 2 of these amphicars there at the show, which are pretty neat. There's propellers under the back. You can't really see them, but that's how they go on the water, is there's actually a couple propellers underneath. There's an old 1925 Dodge. See how that looks? That's kind of a nice car, isn't it? Yeah, they had their own. And this is like a 65, I believe, Dodge. Looks almost like the SUVs that you find today, but it's from 1965, and back then those kind of trucks were used by contractors and workmen. They were really family cars. Ooh, look at that lion in that Land Rover there. There's a lion coming out of that Land Rover. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And this is a Volkswagen Thing. It was based on the old Kuba wagon from World War II, but they made them in the 1970s. It just, the styling was based on that. They were really like a Volkswagen Bug underneath, but had that fancy styling. And there's a Volkswagen Camper. And these are the cars that are inside, so they're a little bit more of the expensive types of cars. That one right there is a Packard, and it's a nice looking Packard. Huh? Over here's a Accord. That was in a really unusual car, and those are worth a lot of money now. Here's a Cadillac, an old Cadillac, 1954 it says, a convertible. That was the top of the line Cadillac that year, the Eldorado. And then here's the Packard, and another Packard over to the right there. These are cars that are worth quite a bit more money. That's why they're inside there. And that's it. Bye.